and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a custom background the easiest way possible. It requires really almost no manual labor at all. You just put it in and you're ready to go. So before we get started, this is the simplest way possible, and because it is so simple, it does have a con. The pro is that you don't have to cut foam, you don't have to do all this fancy stuff, you don't have to paint anything, you just put it in and it's ready to go. But because you put it in and it's ready to go, it's not gonna look as great because we are just using spray foam, and a lot of time when you use spray foam, it comes out almost like little poop. But a lot of times it can come out looking like dirt. But other than that, if you want something super simple, then this is the way to do it, and it's super easy to do. All you're gonna need is some great stuff, pond and stone. You can use regular great stuff as well. I like to use this because it is, plant safe, fish safe, it's reptile safe. But it's also waterproof and it's black, because if you use the white gray stuff, you're gonna be able to see the white through the brown. Ecoar, stuff like that. This one just looks better on the sides. If you put it all over along the sides will be black instead of white. A lot of times if you use gray stuff, the white just kind of looks ugly. So that's why I use this gray stuff, pond and stone. I will have this linked down below in the comments and the description if you want to get this on Amazon. Next up, you're just gonna need some Ecoar. Now this is a 3-pack. You don't need a 3-pack for this. You could use just like one of these, but they only had a 3-pack, so we're only gonna use a 3-pack. We're only gonna use one of the 3. It's good to get kind of the loose kind, but if you do get this, you want to dry it out. You want your Eco-Earth to be bone dry when you have it. So a lot of times they sell Eco-Earth in the bags. That's the kind I would get, the one in the bag that's like already just like loose and it's not like compacted into a brick. But sometimes they're kind of wet. That's what you don't want. You don't want it wet. You want it to be dry when you throw it on here. Next up, you could use cork bark. You don't have to use cork bark at all. You could just use sticks, leaves, whatever you have from outside. And then after that is some silicone, and you don't have to use this at all. The only reason I'm showing this to you is if you really do like the outcome of this, put this on the back of the glass aquarium or wood aquarium or whatever you have. Usually if you have wood aquarium, it'll stick better, the gray stuff. But with glass aquariums, if you use gray stuff, it'll stay on there. But after like a year or so, it's gonna like start to peel off. It's gonna dry out and it'll just fall off the glass. But if you use silicone, it'll stick better to the glass and last longer. But if you don't care, you can just use this. You don't need silicone at all. And all you need is this. And you don't even need cork bark at all. If you just wanna have just basically a brown background that kind of looks like dirt, then you just need these 2 things right here. So let's get into the shower. All right, so starting off, I took my 40-gallon tank outside. I have some disposable gloves, and I have my silicone. This is the silicone you want. It's pet safe. It's the GE All-Purpose Silicone 1. And I chose to do this outside because silicone, when curing, smells like vinegar hardcore, like way too much. I'm not gonna smell that in my house, so I did it outside. I went ahead and wiped down the tank so that way it's just kind of clean. I didn't do it with like water or anything. I just did it with the paper towel. Then you go ahead and get one of these caulking guns. You're just gonna clip off the tip of the silicone, and then you can poke a hole in the top of the silicone, and then you just start spreading the silicone all over the tank like so. And I did the sides as well for anybody who wants to do the sides. I just threw it on there. Well, I'll talk a little bit about the sides later on. Then once you're done with the silicone, this is where the gloves come in. I have a glove on one hand, as you can see right here, and I start rubbing the silicone all into the glass, all over the place, wherever the great stuff's gonna be at. And then once I'm done, I let it set for 24 hours. You'll know when the silicone is cured because it won't smell like vinegar anymore. Now, the reason I talk about the sides is that this whole thing, you can actually just scrape off. If you don't like the way it looks, you can scrape off the silicone, you can scrape off the great stuff. This is not a permanent thing. If you don't like it, you can just tear it right off, no problem. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our Eco-Earth. Now this was a big problem because like I said, I didn't buy it in a bag. It was in a compressed brick. So I had to sit here for 2 hours ripping the brick apart. I tried all kinds of methods. I used a knife, I used my hands, I rubbed it together. It was super dusty. I had gloves on, I ripped my gloves, but eventually I got it all out of its brick form and into the Eco-Earth form itself. The next thing I do is I get some sphagnum moss and grind it up into the Eco-Earth. This kind of just gives it a little bit more character, makes it look a little bit nicer. Now this is optional, you don't have to do this. This is the Zoomed sphagnum moss that comes in a box. You can also get this at Lowe's as well. They sell this at Lowe's under some brand, but it's the same exact thing and it's perfectly safe for your reptiles. Now it's time for the great stuff spray foam. All we're gonna do is the first thing is I like to kind of lay out my cork bark or stick, whatever design you're going with. If you're gonna put tree limbs in the enclosure, you wanna lay them out. That's what you're gonna do right here. You're just gonna kind of frame, get a design going. Now I suck at designs, and that's why my background I think just doesn't look that great anyways, but I lay out my cork bark, kind of see where I'm gonna spray it at, I get it ready, and then I just start spraying foam wherever I want. And as you can see here, I just kind of spray around my design. I lift up the cork bark, I spray underneath it. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. And I tried to make it not look like the poop, like I was talking about, how it comes out looking like poop. I tried to like, rub it in, and then I even poured the Ecoar on later, which you'll see, and I'll patted it down really hard. I like rubbed it to try to like maybe mix it together. It just didn't matter. It just cured and looks like poop. That's just how it did. So you can try it and maybe it worked different for you. If it worked awesome and it doesn't look like this little tube, like toothpaste coming out, tell me down in the comments. But anyways, this is all I do. I just pretty much spray the spray foam everywhere, wherever I want it on the enclosure. And then after that, it's time to get the Eco-Earth. Now, as soon as you get done spraying the gray stuff, you want to immediately get your Eco-Earth and just start throwing it all over the enclosure. It's very important to do this part really fast because you don't want your gray stuff to cure. You want it to be still wet, so you want to kind of do your gray stuff pretty fast. You don't want to cure it all. You want this part to kind of go quickly, but you get your Eco-Earth and you just dump it all over the great stuff, as you can see right here. And then, like I said, you see me rubbing it in. I was really trying to make it look flat or make it not look like poop, but it still came out looking like poop. I just could not get it from having that little tube. Like, it basically looks like I sprayed great stuff on the stuff. I mean, I really got in there. I thought I did a great job. I was wrong. But anyways, after you put your Eco-Earth on the great stuff, you just wait 24 hours and you just flip the enclosure over like so, and congratulations, it's done. That easy. Now, it takes 2 days if you use silicone. It only takes 1 day if you use just great stuff by itself. And this is the end result. Now, mind you, when you have all the stuff inside the tank, it actually does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was actually blown away. I was like, dang, this does look really good. I feel like I outdid myself there for a second, but it's up to you. Tell me what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed, like and subscribe.